number 6 at Belmont Park. It is the listed Idyllic Prince Stakes over the 1,300 metres. As we said, Mark, this was meant to be Saturday. So looking forward to it midweek, and interesting with the rail at 18 in a cutaway.
Yeah, absolutely, Adam. But one thing I will say, I do love having these black type listed races on Wednesday. It brings the people to the races.
It's like Thursday night football.
Exactly right, and it's free entry, so there's no reason for you not to get down to Belmont. All the local punters, of course. But we'll have a look at the replay of the Belmont Newmarket, which first among equals beat Rock Magic.
Kicked away by a length and a half. Trying hard checkpoint. Rock Magic looms up. Under the whip, first among equals, but he's winding up with a good run. Travanator, the leader. First among equals, closes him fast though. And then Rock Magic, but first among equals. He's a very classy horse. He races to the front. Rock Magic tries to come back, but first among equals draws clear. And first among equals wins it nicely.
Superb performance there by first among equals. Even though the horse laid out a little bit around the bend, and then when it hit the front, wanted to stop, which Paul Harvey and Simon Miller both reported as well. It was just a really nice run. This horse has got a tremendous record now at Belmont Park. 9 starts, 7 victories and a third. Very good record at the distance. This is a horse going places. Now, it meets Rock Magic half a kilo worse. I don't think that's enough to turn...
Wait for age conditions, of course.
I don't think it's worse, enough to turn the conditions. But then you look at some of the other horses in that run. I mean, Bass Strait goes from 54.5 to 59, and Checkpoint goes from 54 to 59. So those two horses aren't going to get anywhere near first among equals. For mine, Rock Magic is probably the biggest danger, and there may be, two others that can cause a few little issues. Yeah,
I just think number 3, first among equals, just got so much improvement left. We don't really say that about too many 5-year-olds, but they've put, I think, a lugging bit on. They've changed the bit and changed his gear just to get him racing a bit more tractably. But if you watch that run in the Belmont Newmarket, it looked like Rock Magic dropped him off at the turn because he didn't know what to do around the turn, and then he's picked up again and got him on the line. I just think he's a very, very smart galloper. Also got Red Aura in there, and that was a nice performance, but wasn't ready to go first up. We'll be ready here.
Yeah, it was something that Dan Morton mentioned after race. They were pretty honest. They said, look, we thought he was ready, but clearly he wasn't. Maybe he needed a little bit more work, and maybe he was just a little bit too podgy. So I know they've been doing that. Now, the big thing that I've noticed here is the blinkers going on. This is a massive bonus for this horse. I think, again, it's going to be a day where you want to be on speed. Proceed with Caution is the only natural leader in this race. Barrier 3, 59 kilos, that they should be able to go forward with that galloper. Then Red Aura from Barrier 7 with the 59 kilos. I expect them to go forward as well. Like we saw in the listed Scenic Blast when it was able to beat first among equals by 2.5 lengths. Now, on that day, it did only carry the 54.5 kilos. But I think this is the horse's best opportunity. Sit outside, proceed with caution, kick at the top of the straight with the blinkers on, and they just need to hope that they're too good.
It's a him fresh. I got a lot of time for this horse. I loved his win in the Strickland. It showed that he was back. We know he's a Group 1 winner as well. Here first up, I think he can show something fresh. Has won once in the soft before. We may not get soft conditions. It'll be between that good and soft ground, but I expect for a big run first up here.
Yeah, this horse obviously didn't show its best over East, and we've had a few of our good horses do that as well. But as you mentioned, it's been given a bit of a freshen up since June, and that was over the 2,000 metres. My question mark is just whether it's going to have that sprinting ability. I mean, it's a big drop from 2,000 back to 1,300. Obviously, it is fresh and ready to go there as well. It's won over 12 and 1,400 metres as well. But 59 kilos against a very good field. I think that's the question mark for mine, and I think the best bet of the day has to be number 3, first among equals, from 2, Rock Magic, number 7, Red Aura, and 9, Proceed with Caution.
Agreed. Don't be... they'll duel it out again. Number 3, first among equals. From the 2, Rock Magic. Number 4, Mr. Utopia. And 7, Red Aura.
Race number 7 at Belmont Park. It is a Class 5 handicap over the 1,700 metres. I love the way that this race maps out. There's some really nice speed in it with Faux Shizzle just rolling out in front. And then we've got some horses that will attack the line strongly. I guess a good example of that's Firebird from last start.
Wasn't it a good win, Adam? We'll have a look at that replay. One of Jared Noski's 4 winners on the day, Firebird, beating Harlem Moon.
Moon balancing at the 350, and Tommy Toucan has made that dashing move around them now and sprints away, led by 2.5 lengths with Firebird in pursuit. Tommy Toucan shown the persuader down inside the 150, clear of Firebird. Power Pack, Danarip's Girl coming along the inside. Harlem Moon's wider out. Tommy Toucan, Firebird cutting it down. Noski lifting it. There's 4 for Jared.
She's a nice type, this 4-year-old mare, and that was a really nice performance. I love speaking to Dan Pearce after the race and just his honesty about this galloper, and he mentioned that he knew straight away she was a listed type, and they tried to chase that black type for the owners. Now, they had a couple of issues. She was found a little bit short, and then it's just been time to try and get her back to the track, but she's matured, she's sound. We've seen her step up from 14 to 16 to 17, put in some really nice runs. She got that win. She should be able to go on with this campaign as well. I think she's a really nice type. With only 55 kilos, Sean O'Donnell has to take the ride there, obviously with Jared struggling a little bit with his weight in winter, as we all do, but I think it's certainly another winning chance.
Of course, he's spoke to us before the race as well for our Singapore viewers, gave the galloper a really good push. The only thing he was concerned about is that Jared Noski had already ridden 3 winners. He said, can he win another one? He might have used up all his luck, but Jared was riding an absolute treat on that day. Stays at 1,700 metres. You lose nothing with Sean O'Donnell. Class. He's an absolute class rider. We've also got in the race, number 1 there, Faux Shizzle from the McAuliffe yard. Jordan Turner rides this time, and Darren McAuliffe has a lot of time for Jordan Turner.
Yeah, he does, and there's no reason to knock this mare again as well, because you take a look at last start in pretty tough conditions, a heavy 9. She carried the 57.5 from barrier 1. She was beaten a short neck by Prentice, which was just on the better side of the track on that occasion. Barrier 13, she'll have her time to roll across here with a 57.5. Same grade, same weight. She can certainly go close again.
Number 13, GPS, Steve Wolfyard. Steve Wolfyard was absolutely flying. A little bit quieter now, but Sean McGruddy rides here. I expect this galloper to put in a much better performance on a little bit firmer ground.
I was intrigued to see that we both have this horse in our numbers, because when you take a look at the stats, 8 runs at Belmont Park, has never placed, hasn't won for 200 days now, has had 2 attempts at track and distance, never placed, and it's been beaten 7 lengths and 8 lengths in the last 2 runs. I know it threw its head around last night and didn't settle, but I was just on the opinion, I thought maybe I was losing my mind a little bit. This horse is really going to improve. Barrier 5, 54.5 kilos. I think it's going to get a lovely run throughout. You should get a nice each way price. If you're ever going to back it and hope for improvement, I think this is a run. I just think a few things tick the boxes that we're going to see an improved effort.
The big thing for me was a 1,700 metre trip. I think it just wants that journey. Its first 2 runs this time in haven't been bad. You would have liked to have seen it run a little bit closer, but out to 1,700 metres for me, like you said, Adam, ticks a lot of boxes. Just quickly as well, low flying, Adam. Been waiting for this horse to improve, but just hasn't shown it.
No, and I think this may be the last run for her, so I think this will be it for her, and then she'll be off to the breeding barn. She's been a sensational runner. She's, run a fair bit of prize money as well, close to the 100,000, and she's had the 5 wins from a 34 start. So I believe that to be the case, and best of luck to everybody if it is. But I'm going to go with number 1, Faux Shizzle here, from 6, Frybird, 4, Dance Master, and number 13, GPS.
Yeah, I've got the 13 on top, GPS from the Steve Wolfyard. Number 14, Giggity Giggity Goo, 6, Frybird, and number 2, Kensington Abbey.
Race 8 at Belmont Park. It is Perth. Race number 8 for our Singapore viewers. It's a 1,000 metre Class 3 handicap event, and I think if you're in the quaddie mark, there's probably 7 or 8 runners you have to have in those numbers just to be safe.
And you're probably looking at a very handy dividend as well. Number 14, Amelia's Love. We haven't seen it race since 6th of March back at Bunbury. Let's have a look at that win. It was quite impressive.
3/4 Wings of Hope, 2 lengths behind them, Trifle, Star of Magic, and they're being followed by Dead Power. Coming down to the 200, Amelia's Love, the leader by a length. Wings of Hope sticks on well though. It's Amelia's Love on the outside. Wings of Hope coming back. Noski has to go for the whip with Amelia's Love from Wings of Hope in a 2-horse war. Amelia's Love won.
Yeah, it was a really nice run by her on that occasion. She'd won 2 prior trials, and there was just a bit of talk about this galloper. She jumped as $1.80. Tell you, she didn't win like a $1.80 horse. I mean, that's the first thing what you'd like to look at. But what I liked, obviously didn't get away as quick as they would have liked, went back, was pushed up by Jerry Noski, went forward, and then was just up for the fight, and that was probably the really big positive. Now, the recent trial was beaten the length by Courses Quick, wasn't asked to do a lot on that occasion by Lucy Warwick. William Pite takes a ride again, obviously because of the weight of the 55 kilos here, just a bit too much for Lucy at the moment. Barrier 15 makes it tough though.
Bred for speed as well, this galloper out of a mare called Card Queen, who I think produced Karuta Queen. So very speedy filly over east. Nice type, gets every chance set from the barrier. Number 2 there, American Star. We still haven't seen the best of this horse over here. He ran in Group 2, he's in Adelaide, but still has yet to get a win on the board here.
Yeah, we started to see that improvement though last start, didn't we? The blinkers went on, was narrowly beaten by Faith in Fate on that occasion. Now stays in the same grade and drops 2 kilos with a claim to Aaron Mitchell. Barrier 6, I think we'll get a really nice run throughout. The biggest positive here is I think just some of the nicer horses are either drawn wide or they go back. So when doing the speed maps and mapping all out, I just thought American Star's probably the best chance to win the race from that really nice position.
Number 8 here, Adam, returns, Ripper Red. Now, trial was good recently, but first up record's very good.
I've got a lot of time for this horse. Again, the only question mark is though, barrier 13 with a 57 kilos for a horse that always goes back. I think it's just going to be found wanting later and not have enough time or the conditions to suit. But on face value, if this was a fair track that I'd be expecting on the day, I'd be leaning towards Ripper Red. I've got so much time for it, and as you mentioned, the first up record is really good.
The Simon Milliper on top, galloper on top again for you, Adam?
I'm going to go with number 2, American Star, from number 10, Master Gold, number 6, Jules Sasso, and 9, First Affair.
14 on top for me, Amelia's Love, number 8, Ripper Red, 1, Ruby Can Run, and 2, American Star.
Race number 9 at Belmont Park. It's Perth. Race number 9 for our Singapore viewers as well. It's a 1,200 metre event, and pretty tough one to analyse. There's Broome form, there's Perth form, there's not much winning form.
Yeah.
It's coming from everywhere.
Very, very tricky. We'll go straight into the replay though of a last start winner. We know form from winning form is good form. So let's have a look at Big Caroline beating Jaspara last start at Belmont.
Deep now in the straight to start her run, and she quickly dashes up and hits the lead. 2 lengths Jaspara, Skellig sealed with a kiss, Special Jewel, Dana Breezer, O'Reilly's Crumpet, but Big Caroline getting right out to the better going here, it would seem. Down by the 150, nicely clear of Jaspara, Pirate's Fortune. Big Caroline under the whip. Jaspara keeps coming, however. He has to lift Big Caroline, but she'll do just enough. Big Caroline.
Nice run there by Big Caroline. I'm a little bit confused that she's dropping back to the 1200. Speaking to Jared Noski after the race and winning over 1400 with a heavy 9, I thought it was a nice opportunity to stretch out to 16 and 17 and see how she handles it. But this has been her preferred distance. Barrier shouldn't be too much of an issue. She's another winning chance.
Number 6, Patrimonio. What do we do with this galloper? He's had a few runs in this time, 4 runs. Won the first one of them, but we expected him to go on to bigger and better things. Hasn't quite got to those heights yet.
I think Brent Albiran is asking the same question. What do we do here? It was a nice win at Belmont beating Extreme Dreams. Now, question marks around that form because Extreme Dreams hasn't been great since. But, beaten 6 lengths by State Solicitor, beaten by Snitsalong, questionable form again, but then a really nice run behind Maxwell Whitey, and then you go, this horse is back. I think with Patrimonio, it just needs everything to go its way. It needs to be a day where they can run on. It needs to have its room down the outside, and it needs to have no checkered run at all. Now, you've got Leaders Day, Barrier 2 inside as well. I think it'll be running a race, but I wouldn't be having it on top.
Arguably another one as well. Once we get back to Ascot, we could see a much improved horse. Number 3 there as well, Travelling from the Jimmy Taylor yard. Of course, he trained Idyllic Prince, who the main race is named after. I think this horse is a really good chance from Barrier 1. Jake Casey takes off 1.5 kilos as well.
I really like Travelling. I think this is a really nice horse. Mystic Maid, Cool Passion, Pop Hero form lines again. Strong Saturday form lines. You then have Barrier 1 with a 57.5 kilos. Horse that can go back, sit midfield, or it can show a little bit of speed. Love it out to the 1200 metres. You look at the last few runs, they've been over the 1,000. I've just kept saying each time, look, it's a winning chance, but it needs 1200. Had the distance, 4 starts, 2 victories and a third. It just takes that little bit longer to wind up. I think it's a winning chance in this. I've put it on, or I wanted to put on top. I've put it second there. I'm going with number 8, Big Caroline, after she broke that 700-day drought last time. From number 3, Travelling, then number 4, Crown Lawyer, and 15, Silver Plated.
I'm with you, Adam. I think Big Caroline can go back to back. From number 6, Patrimonio, 14, Strong Values, and 15, Silver Plated.
Time now for the best bets of the card. I think most of us will be focusing on one single race, and that is the listed Idyllic Prince Stakes. I'll be going with number 3, First Among Equals, and then race 8, number 2, American Star.
9, Cosmic Journey in race number 5 looks a certainty for me. And race 6, number 3 as well, Adam, First Among Equals.
As we always say, do follow us on social media, perthracing.com.au as well for all of your event information. On behalf of both of us, hope we found you plenty of winners.